Dimples285 here. Welcome back. This one is going to be over our courthouse style wedding. This was something that was really important to my partner and I. Obviously we wanted to be married, but it was at the top of his list as well as mine to not spend a ton of money on a huge wedding. Number one, I don't like to be the center of attention, neither does he. Number two, finances are really important to both of us. He is way more frugal than I, so we just were not willing to go into debt for a wedding. To each his own. Some people can afford it, other people, you know, cost benefit, it's worth it for them. So no disrespect if that's the route you took. Just for my partner and I, that wasn't what we were gonna do. So the goal was to stay up under $5,000 and I outdid myself. I spent exactly, I think when I added it up, it was like 17 or something like that. So I was able to plan an intimate ceremony for under $2,000. So I have a few things here that are noted. I'm gonna go down the list. So if you are looking to do something similar, feel free to use these resources and contact these people. So the first thing you always wanna start out with is a venue. Obviously we chose Courthouse, but because COVID was at the height at that, or coming down from the height at that time, there were a lot of places that were not allowing family in. And so at the top of my list, I wanted his mom there and my mom there. Obviously, if our fathers could be there, we wanted that, but it was a deal breaker if they weren't allowing at least the moms in, and a lot of places weren't. So if you were in Georgia, I highly recommend you look into the Lawrenceville Historic Courthouse, or it might be called the Gwinnett Historic Courthouse. I don't know the formal name, but it's in Lawrenceville. I think it's the Gwinnett Historic Courthouse. It's in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and they allow you to rent out their rooms. They have so many packages in there, and it's so cost effective. So the package that we had was just for the ceremony room. They have like a ceremony and a reception room, but again, the package we chose was just for an hour with the ceremony room. It's already decorated, so you don't have to do a lot. You just show up. That was $151. So $151 if you are a citizen. Not a citizen. If you are a resident of Gwinnett County in Georgia, then it's a little bit cheaper for you. So that's what we chose. Our officiant was $200. Found him off of Thumbtack. So if you don't know, Thumbtack is like a website where you can go on and find different people who have different trades. That's where we found him from. I knew I wanted something to make the event kind of memorable. Something like while the guests arrive, they could kind of vibe out and it could kind of feel like a wedding instead of like we just at the courthouse. So one of my friends had an engagement in which her fiance had a saxophone player there, and I was like, ooh, how romantic. I love that. And so I reached out to her and reached out to him and was like, hey, would you be willing to play sax at my courthouse wedding? And he was like, yeah, of course. So I'll leave his Instagram, but RJ was great. He was professional. He even dressed up, and I didn't even think about like giving him a dress code or anything, but he like showed up dressed up. He had his speaker. He was just like so professional, and he played like Anita Baker and her and Daniel Caesar, and those are all artists that I love. So it just felt like right, like perfect. So and my guests loved it too. They were like, oh, it's fancy. You got like somebody playing saxophone. So that was nice. My flowers. I wanted to order flowers. However, I was finding that flowers were so expensive, like flowers for my bouquet, flowers for the Shane's corset. It was just so expensive. So instead, I just went on Amazon and I made everything myself. So I ordered a flower kit and it came with the colors that I like, and I basically made everything myself, and that was so much cheaper. It was $35.99 on Amazon. I wanted cupcakes, so even though we didn't have a reception at the end, I wanted, you know, our guests to have something as a thank you for coming out. So I ordered cupcakes from A Piece of Cake. Those turned out to be $73.44. Pro tip, if you're gonna order cupcakes, have someone, because I didn't pick them up, I had my brother to pick them up and bring them, have someone taste the cupcakes, because our cupcakes were stale, and I've never had that happen from A Piece of Cake, like ever. Their cupcakes are always fresh, but I think because we ordered them in advance, because we were getting, I think we got like 2 dozen. So I think they might have made them in advance, and I don't know. But just have someone to check your cupcakes. To me, that was a lot of money for cupcakes that were already stale. And it wasn't just my cupcake. Like, I asked several of the people there, and we had different flavors. Like, was your cupcake a little stale? Was yours a little stale? Like, that's almost $100 for something that no one really enjoyed. So have at least one cupcake tested before your actual event day if you choose to have cupcakes. My dress, I got it from Lula's or Lulu's. I don't know how you say it. I think it's Lula's. And it was $99, folks. I really like simple, elegant. That was the theme, simple, elegant, memorable. If you know me in real life, that is very true to who I am. I don't like a lot. So again, I'll link that if you're interested in it. I can say that the dress does not hide imperfections well. So if you are someone who is very like body conscious, or you are not like, you don't love the way your body looks, this dress is not going to be one to help you cover it up. Nextly, I am pretty small, so almost everything I have has to be altered. My dress is no exception. My alterations actually cost more than my dress. So my alterations were $150. So take that into account. Sometimes I think people think when you order online, I know I didn't take that into account, like, oh, it's fine, but it can add up. So again, alterations $150. Hair and nails. That's not really in the budget because some of these things I could have done myself, but it was my wedding and I wanted to treat myself. So I set aside like $300 for hair, and I think I ended up using like $225 or something, but I set aside $300 for it. I ended up tipping her, so we'll just say close to $300, and nails $100. I got my nails and my toes done. I like added on all the extra services, like rub me down, make me feel good, you know, that sort of thing. Photography. Our photography was the most expensive. I would say venue and photography, if you want it, are going to be most expensive. If you know someone who can do your photography, that'll be even clutch. Our photography was $500, and that was like a package deal. So again, most places you're going to pay food, well, venue, food, photography. Those are going to be your three expenses. So if you can find some work around those, it's going to save you a ton of money. And lastly were accessories, so things that I wore. So like my brooch for my dress, you know, they always say you're supposed to have something blue. I didn't do blue, that didn't fit our colors. I just picked the green brooch from Amazon, $10.99. My necklace and my bracelets, earring set, that was $26.99. My shoes, got those off of Amazon for $44.19. I wanted something with a low heel, but white, and I couldn't really find anything. I also waited to the last minute to look for it, so that's probably why. So Amazon was really clutch for that. And I wanted like a fur shawl because it was like windy, like, but it wasn't cold, but I'm always cold. So, and I felt like it would just class up the dress, and I'm so happy I did. So my fur shawl was $42.99. I ended up getting a lot of compliments on that actually. And what else did I get? I think that's it. The little things like the decor, my mom purchased that stuff for me from Party City, and I don't think she spent over $100, but I didn't add that into my budget because I didn't pay for it. But I know she got us like the napkins that said Mr. and Mrs. and like little plastic glasses, cups for us to toast to go with the champagne. So again, we had a very small guest list. We had under 25 people there. It was literally close family. We decided not to invite our friends. I did have one of my friends come, and the condition of her being able to come was that she was our videographer. So she was able to come, and I'm so happy she was there because she's my best friend. But that was our elopement. That's how we did it. We spent under $2,000. It was very memorable. I loved every bit of it. It was worth it. And I love that we were able to get married, make memories, have pictures and things like that, but then not be in debt afterwards. And we still were able to do honeymoon X, Y, and Z. So that is how we did it. I'll leave all the links, people I use, and things below. If this is something that you think you would like to do, then go for it. I get questions about it all the time. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made, was to go ahead and elope. And I highly encourage you to do it, specifically if finances are a concern, or you are just financially conscious and don't want to go into debt, or you don't like being the center of attention. So that's all I have for now. If this video was helpful, please share it with someone, like, all those things, subscribe. It goes a long way, and I appreciate it, and see y'all next time.